villains can have friendship, right? Or is this just a case of manipulation emotions? I mean, I think that is one of the reasons why people really like My Hero Academia, because it's an endless roller coaster of different emotions, and heroes doesn't necessarily have to be kind guys, and villains doesn't necessarily have to be bad guys, and sometimes evil is cool. So I mean, that's the only reason why people want this villain to get away, so everyone can, so they can take over the world with their quirk racing, because well, they probably are gonna get away. Yes, this is the Boku no Hero Academia chapter 148. I decided to review it. First off, as their escape, as their hero's escape route are cut off, they realize in the shock that the Villian Alliance is cooperating with the Yakuza. Moreover, Deku realizes something. It's not exactly confirmed if he realizes, but he seems to realizes that the acrobatic skills he saw Toga using and the melting away she did is just at the same she did in the festival when she was Kami. So is Deku realizing that that Kami was Toga, or is he beginning to wonder why is Kami just like Toga? Either way, other than that, the clone of Rempa begins to fight, but Sir Midnight shows some surprising quick martial arts skills, even though he does get grazed. But it does use something weird. I have no idea what it is, but it seems to be some kind of um, seal weight, something like 5 kilograms. No idea what that means. It's but he throws it with enough with enough strength that he actually creates an impact in the wall. And everyone is of course a bit freaked out, saying, "What just happened?" And we see actually that underneath his very thin body, Certain Midnight is actually ripped. I mean, he's still thin, but he is ripped. And actually, that should make sense. Not only because he has trained Miryu, a guy who is also extremely ripped, but Sir Midnight was also All Might's sidekick. All Might said he didn't have any strength in him, but his mind was the greatest thing. So I mean, it would make sense if he eventually decides to train. What I don't get is what is these kilograms he threw? I mean, did he throw it with enough force that he actually could break apart the Rappa clone? If he does, then I'm just saying that this proves even more that Sir Midnight is an excellent example of a hero that doesn't have an attacking quirk. He can see into the future with his foresight, but only certain parts of his life. Time. But he doesn't need to have that quirk. But he does say he is a guy who actually predicts and then makes the first move. So I mean, if he's a martial artist, he's obviously the one who uses more judo. So yeah, it is kind of amazing. It just further proves the point. You don't have to have a powerful quirk in order to be powerful. It all depends on how you use it and your body. So he attacks twice and manages to rip off his mask, revealing that, it is not revealing, it is confirmed that, as we saw in Twice's personal history chapter, the mask he wields is actually the one of the only ways for him for his schizophrenic thoughts to be at peace, you can say. So he begins to tear apart. So Toga appears and then put a not a blanket, but a napkin or something over Twice's eyes, torn the mask eyes, so he does not get separated. I mean, it is kind of a bit weird but cool that Toga, a sociopathic a serial killer girl, actually can show emotions like that. But then again, that is a sociopath for you. Sometimes what they show affection to is something a normal human cannot comprehend. So, well, she is bashing the Yakuza, who of course gets very angry at their behavior. But then we get to the flashback on back when they when well, you know, damn, I forgot. Tomura is given this mission towards Twice, and Twice is actually questioned Tomaro there, saying, "Have you gone sane, leader? Uh, why are you doing this? Don't you know they killed Magna and that they took out Compress arm?" That actually reveals that yes, Magna did not get revived, even though it is confirmed that Overhaul can do that. And yes, Compress did lose his arm. So he takes off his mask and saying, uh, "It was my carelessness that brought me. Are you gonna send me there to have me killed or anything else?" So, and Tomura, no, Toga just says that, why, if there's any way for me to do that, and I'd like to try it. Something like, for her, the league is all about feeling good. So, I mean, so she's just saying to what he had to do such unpleasant things. So Tomura takes off his mask and surprisingly reveals his face towards the league. I'm saying surprisingly because there's something about his face that looks different. Does it look the same as when he talked to Deku? Well, actually it does, but it seems to have almost more wrinkles now than it had before. Or maybe it is because this time it's not a face of hatred or anger or mockingness. No, this is more like a face of pity because he's saying this is for my sake and all yours. So I know they are planning on, they see you at all as useless things. So they are gonna have him then subjugate you. We have never been viewed as equals, but you need to take responsibility for your actions because I believe in you. So I have a difficult time translating all this, but I believe they're basically saying that the League of Villains really are those kind of guys that they are friends. They are not just another league of subordinates. Either Tomura is an excellent emotional manipulator. I mean, technically Sensei also was that, but or is sincere. I think it's both. I think it's both emotional manipulating and sincere. Because people still misunderstand one thing. Despair can drive a man insane. They so don't believe that. As they bash the Yakuza guy, the Yakuza decides to skip trying to save these villain guys and decides to go berserk. But I think that was the plan all along. Because now the room is all very messy. And if it's all messy, then it's gonna be difficult traversing. And if it's gonna be difficult traversing, well, then it's gonna be difficult catching up to Overhaul. Which, by the way, I don't believe they will. Because there's no way Hope is going to be this strong. So give me your thoughts if you have any. Because otherwise this chapter, well, odd moments. Emotion, but emotional still.